What up, everybody? Zeta Zulu back at it again with another review for you. And today we're looking at the Mini-pla Megazord from My Morphin Power Rangers, or the Mini-pla Daizyujin from Zyuranger, if you're more of a Sentai fan than a Power Rangers fan. Now, I picked this up at my local Barnes & Noble, but you can find it in other places like Big Bad Toy Store or other online retailers that do imports and stuff of that nature. So we're going to kick this review off by just looking at the Zords individually, then going into tank mode, then going into the Megazord mode. So let's start that off by just pulling everybody out and looking at the T-Rex. Now, the T-Rex Zord was maybe the most involved build in this set. As the Mini-pla name should entail you, this is a model kit line, so you have to build this. And if you're not inclined to build things, that's perfectly fine. Then this just isn't for you, because this gives you about a 5 to 6 inch size Megazord and little Zords to go with them. And I do like the look of these. Like, these were fun to build. They have decent posability, i.e. for the T-Rex, the legs can go forward and back, has a knee joint, has an ankle joint on a ball joint. The arms can move up and down. Nothing really at the head. Like, it can swivel left and right a little bit, but it's really just because of the other head back here. The tail can go up and down, and the tip of the tail can pivot down. But this is just a little... Oh, also has a waist swivel. It's just a pretty good representation of the T-Rex Zord. Like, these are just good little small representations of the Zords that do everything and combine. Like, what I would call this essentially, like, this would be like getting the Soul Chigokin Megazord, but just smaller, having to put it together. So now we've gotten a good look at the T-Rex. We can move on to the Mastodon. Now, the Mastodon isn't really going to have any, like, articulation, really, like, besides just, well, its trunk is on a ball joint, so that can wiggle around a little bit, and the tusks can each rotate in and out, so you can position them how you want them, and then the front feet can rotate a little bit, and the back feet can, like, move forward and back a little bit, and that's partially just due to transformation. And this guy's probably second most intensive of the builds. Pretty fun still. He's got good details done through the stickering, which there are a lot of stickers in these kits, and that is I would say the only flaw of building a model kit, having to sticker things, especially when your stickers don't want to cooperate with you and get to where they need to be. Hold on, readjust the camera. So I knocked it a little bit. But yeah, the Mastodon looks really good, really nice. It's just a nice little adorable Mastodon. I like it. So we're going to move him out of the way. So then next we will bring in the Saber-toothed Tiger. And this one I actually kind of like the most out of all of these. Like, it's got decent posability in its head and neck. You can look up and down. The tusks move, or fangs, tusks, yeah, whatever. The front legs are all one piece, but they move forward and back. The hind legs, all one piece, move forward and back. Now, while I like this one the most, I have a little bit of problems with stickers the most. As you can see, when applying that sticker, like trying to get it into the groove, I did scrape off some of the ink on it, and I do have the most trouble with its sticker staying on. Like these front ones, and specifically these ones on the backs to replicate wheels, since they didn't give it 4 full wheels. Like, these stickers will just keep coming up. Like, post-review, I'm probably just going to take those stickers off anyways and just live without them. But the tail also moves up and down. And yeah, it's just nice, posable saber-toothed tiger that looks really good. Like, this is the most fun I've had with a saber-toothed Zord kinda ever. And the good thing is, these are like actual rolling wheels still. Now, we will move on to the... Make sure it's standing. Get the camera back in place. move on to the Triceratops sword, which by definition is basically a brick, but it's an endearing brick, and I love this guy a lot purely just because of my not increase, but like I'm a big fan of Blue Rangers, and since this is the first Blue Ranger, really like his Zord. Posability wise, its head can just go up and down. That's mainly for transformation. The horns move up and down, and the tail can move up and down, and the little guns on the tail can move. And that's about it. That's all he's got. And he does have rolling wheels, but I kind of screwed up on attaching my wheels. Like, these back ones roll kind of fine, but these front ones are iffy. Like, you hear the back ones moving, but you hear the front ones scraping, so it doesn't really work out that well for me. But yeah, nice little Triceratops Zord. His stickering is pretty good, just mainly on the sides, these black bits, his eyes, and the yellow bit here. Like, this blue is painted onto these white bits and whatnot, so that was pretty rad. And he has nice detailing in his treads and everything too. He's a pretty good little Triceratops Zord. And last but not least, we have Kimberly. We have the pink pterodactyl Zord, which kind of gets like it's the least like an actual pterodactyl, like the actual animal it's supposed to be, and more of just this is just going to be our chest piece for the Zord, and we just add a head and some wings to flip out. Oops. But this was definitely the simplest build of this entire set. Like, the only difficult part I would say was getting this neck joint into here. Like, this isn't like two pieces or anything. It's just one piece, and you just gotta shove this neck joint in there and hope you get it in and it's stable. But once it is stable. Posability wise, head can go back, forward and back, up and down here. The wings flap in and out. You can get them all the way forward and all the way back, mainly for transformation. Alright, so that was every Zord. Now let's get to combining this bad boy. So, to start off, we're going to go into the tank mode, and we're going to start with the leg bits. So, to get this guy ready, basically you flip up his tail, then you flip out this bit, which is going to be what connects to the Triceratops, or I mean the T-Rex. So you just flip it all the way out, flip the peg down, and flip it back in, and the Triceratops is ready. You're going to do basically the same thing for the Sabertooth. Just get its head all the way down, flip up its fangs. Oops. Yeah, that's one thing that likes to happen. This fang likes to, like, when you're moving, it just likes to pop out instead of just going where it needs to go, but just plugs right back in. Real simple. Put the legs forward, flip the tail up, flip these legs down, and then do the same thing as with the Triceratops, and flip out this connecting port, flip it down, and put it back. And then these two are essentially ready. Now, to get the T-Rex ready, he kind of just chills, like he folds up his legs a little bit, flip his tail up a little, and you want to get this red bit out. And to do that, it's probably easier to just take off this whole front bit and then just push the peg out from the back, because you're going to need this port to plug the mastodon head into later. So just reattach the neck bit that just pegs in, and then just put the center chest piece back, and now you will attach the T-Rex, the Saber to the T-Rex, and the Triceratops to the T-Rex. Oops, tail popped off, but again, just pops right back on. The good thing about this just being a model kit, if something pops off, usually it can just pop right back on. Let's just get that positioned how you want it. I like kind of having this guy positioned kind of up a little bit for this tank mode. Alright, now we're going to bring in the mastodon. So you're going to pull off his head, just attached to 2 pegs here, 2 holes here. Gonna flip out this connector, and we're gonna get to that in a bit. So with the arms, we're gonna push these up, pull them out, and rotate them forward. And then this basically has holes in its back, which are gonna, or pegs here, which are gonna connect to holes here. And you just line it up properly. Get it connected, and then the pegs on the sides of the T-Rex will just go into the holes in the Mastodon. There we go, that's all nice and connected. Get the waist rotated properly, get these pushed up properly. Fold these out a little bit so you can get the guns to be straighter. Alright. Make sure the head's nice and stable. Come on. Alright, now the Mastodon head, you just plug this peg into that hole. Real simple. Oop. I say it's simple, but it's gonna give me trouble when on camera. Come on. There we go. Yeah, nice and in there. So you can just get this more centered. Ta-da. And now, the pterodactyl, you take off the guns, and plug these into the Mastodon's feet. Real quick like. And then you fold the wings back. Like they fold up a specific way, so it's got to be this one first, and this one. And then these little pegs are just going to go into the notches right here on the pterodactyl. And voila! You have your Megazord in its tank mode. And if my Triceratops' wheels were a little bit better, it'd roll around nicely. Definitely a good representation of it. It's a good job. The only leftover bit is this front piece on the T-Rex, and you could technically put that inside the T-Rex. So now, from here, we're going to go to the Megazord formation, which is pretty accurate to how it was in the show. So you pull out your Mastodon head, you pull off your pterodactyl, pull off the guns, and put them on the back of the Mastodon's feet, essentially. Just have more pegs and more holes like on the bottom of it. Now you're going to essentially fully collapse the legs in and rotate them up. Fully collapse. And then you're going to flip the heads of the Sabertooth and the Triceratops up. And voila, you have your legs and feet done. Just going to rearrange and raise the camera a little bit. You now fold these down, flip these up, and this is kind of hard. Well, not really hard, but like you want to make sure you're flipping this the right way to reveal the fists so that he will have actual hands. Just bend it in a little bit so you can get the leverage to flip the Mastodon foot in, and then bend it back. Make sure that's all nice and secure. Flip up these T-Rex arms, and now you're going to take the T-Rex head off and take the front bit off to reveal the Megazord head. Take the neck piece. What I like to do is just kind of get these two together and then put them inside the chest and then put the chest back on. Oop. Just so it kind of keeps all the parts together. Don't have anything just sitting out somewhere on the side to get lost. There we go, it's all nice and snapped in. Then you can replace the T-Rex's chest piece back in there. If I can get it in properly. Good, good. Now, you essentially, for the pterodactyl, reopen its wings, then push the head, collapse the head all the way in, reclose the wings, and these pegs are going to connect to these holes in the mastodon bits. Bada boom. And now you just flip out the horns. Oops, a little bit of the stickering came off. And voila, you have your Mighty Morphin Megazord, or Daizyujin, whichever you prefer. And it looks pretty good for just a small miniature version of it that you can just do whatever with and enjoy. Hold on. Here we go. So, and the cool thing about this is it does have legitimate posability, as in your head can rotate side to side, arms can rotate 360, move out and down, bend at the elbow, rotate at the bicep, and the hands rotate. You do still maintain, oh whoops, there was technically a bit I forgot, you gotta fold up the tail, but when you do, you don't really get access to the waist swivel really, but if you just unpeg it a little, you get access to that waist swivel, and how far you move down the tail basically determines how much of the waist swivel you get to use. The legs can move forward and back, out a little bit, and then you get a bend at the knee, and it can rotate on that peg. Now, the only thing is I kind of don't like how it just the leg kind of just floats. It's not all connected as it should be, but you suffer a little bit for articulation. And to get a little bit more in like the feet, you can essentially remove the front halves of the saber-tooth and triceratops, flip out these ball joints, and then connect them, basically connect them into these sockets here, and now you have ankles and foot rotation, which I'm glad they give you the options to where you can either have it just be completely solid with no breaking in the sculpt, or you can have this added posability. You get the forward and back, the ankle tilts, the pivots, and it can rotate. So it just helps with posability and whatnot even more. You can give it a nice wide sort of crouching stance. He's ready to go beat up a Goldar or something like that. Now, accessory wise, you do get the Mastodon head, which works as the shield, and what I like to do for that is to kind of just rotate the trunk around, because I believe in the show the Mastodon's trunk would just like roll up for the shield formation. So you can just peg that in with this square peg into the hand. Really easy, simple. So now you can block and do whatever with the Mastodon shield. And he does come with the power sword. Give me just 1 second. Go and grab that. And it's just done up in a gray plastic. Very nicely detailed though. Like, you have details all throughout the handle, through the start of the blade, and just all through a nice detail. And it just plugs in the hand really easy. And voila, your Megazord's fully armed, posable, and you can do whatever. This just makes a nice display and shelf piece. I definitely can recommend this if you're both a model kit building fan, a Super Sentai Power Rangers fan, or someone that just likes Power Rangers in general. The instructions are all really straightforward with what you need to do, so a builder of any level can really get this and get the decent results. But if you're not a builder, you should make builder friends and just get this and have them build, because they'll have a good time, and then you'll have yourself a Megazord. Now, they did release a Dragon Zord, but that hasn't been like kind of domestically like spread out, so you can't find it at your local Barnes & Noble yet, but you can probably get it at Big Bad Toy Store and other things like that. So for a real quick comparison, I brought in the Build-A-Figure Megazord that you can get with the Legacy figures, which is indeed taller and bigger. I thought they would kind of be the same size, but for a Megazord that does everything. This is definitely the better package and a bit cheaper. This was about $60 to get every piece of this. When it was at retail, it would have cost you about $100, and now with aftermarket pricing and people inflating everything, just gone up. But yeah, this is the Mini-pla Megazord or Daizyujin. I really like it. I'd give it a 10 out of 10 for building, for fun, for just a good representation of what it's supposed to be. And this is Zulu signing out. Seeing y'all next time. Deuces.